welcome in, and happy Tuesday! Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Oh man, I am ready for this case to be over. I am ready for this case to be over. Oh man. Hey yo! Welcome in, everybody. Mega Rock, Grima, Dark, Squeesh, welcome in. Good to see you. Saint Seiya, Squid James, Gabriel, Metal Spider, Shades for Shades, welcome in. Good to see you. Toon, welcome in. Good to see you. Madigan, welcome in. Good to see you as well. Hello, hello. I feel like it's been forever, even though it hasn't really been forever. It just feels like it's been longer than it has. Aw, Squeesh!
SH_FR0GG0 joins the guild.
Squeesh, thank you so much for that follow, and welcome to the Shade Slayer Guild. Thank you so much. Chicago Huntsman, welcome
Axel, please. The name's Lee.
Got it memorized? Don't worry, I got it memorized. We need a Detective Conan line. Oh boy. I've got a list of lines to add. Oh no! I've got lines to add. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Just got back from a procedure and I'm a little out of it. I hope you'll be able to, I hope your recovery goes well, Saint Seiya. First stream here, let's go, Squeesh! Got my attendance certification from school? Nice! Add them all? Oh gosh. That means more random lines for us to enjoy. Yes. Enjoy the shower, Saint Seiya. Watching for the multiverse update with the Joker, Jason Voorhees, and the Matrix villain. Oh, I see. I see. Oh yes, Screama, thank you for the shout out to Shades. Thank you for the stretch as well. Thank you for the shout out for Shades for Shades. Last streaming Hawkeye Star Rail. Ooh. How did that go? How did the Hawkeye Star Rail go? Ugh. I'm excited for tomorrow, 'cause I'm going to pull for Boot Hill tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'll finally get to see Space Cowboy. I am almost done with the 2.2 update. Oh. Did you know that Godzilla when... no. I did not know that. I did not know that. Detective Conan's brain rot is seriously making me want to come back to the series. I gotta tell you, chat, when I started getting back into it this last week, I did not realize how deep of a hole I was getting into. This series is still running. Detective Conan is still running. It has 1,125 episodes as of this past Saturday. And, not only that, but it has 28 movies and several OVAs. So, I'm gonna be in this for a while. If I'm in this for the long haul. Wish me luck. Ah! I'm in this for the long haul. I don't know why I did this to myself, but since Sunday night in the rain, I watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 with my driver and father. Oh, I see. I see. Hey, Danny, welcome in. Good to see you. Good morning, full moon as well. It's One Piece all over again. Except it's older than One Piece. Detective Conan is older than One Piece by 3 years. Oh gosh. Oh man. Oh no. I am going to be in pain. Well, I'm not gonna be in pain. I'm just gonna be like stuck in this hole for a while. I'm gonna be stuck in this hole for a very long while. Well, I hope you feel better soon, Danny. I hope you feel better soon. I'm back from ads. I appreciate you watching the ads. It gives all of the support to the channel, and I appreciate it. Can't believe I'm about to say this, but this movie is watchable. I know, crazy. Well, obviously better than the first terrible movie. This one, it's not terrible, and it's not amazing either, but it's watchable. Oh, I see. With Disney games, are you excited of Epic Mickey Rebrushed or Kingdom Hearts 4? For me, Kingdom Hearts 4. I am excited for both, to be perfectly honest. I love Epic Mickey. I love Epic Mickey. So, I personally like both of them. I love Kingdom Hearts. I grew up on Kingdom Hearts. And I love Epic Mickey as well. I played both the first one and the second one. Haven't finished either of them, but I do love them. The motion controls were really hard for me. But maybe with Rebrushed, I'll be able to finish Epic Mickey, and then hopefully they'll remake the second one as well. So that one will be higher quality and easier to handle as well. I would love that. Arya, I'm wanting to finish watching Detective Conan. Arya wanting to finish watching Detective Conan. Ha! I'm in danger. Oh, I am. I am in danger of severe brain rot. I am in danger of severe brain rot. Valeria, welcome in. Good to see you. Hello. Want to have Epic Mickey Kingdom Hearts a crossover? Yes. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Have to make it to Sunday for my graduation. You got this, Chicago Huntsman. I believe. You got this. Few more days, you got this. Haha, I'm in danger. Well, there's only one thing left to do. Bully my Disney adult mother with this movie. Don't worry, there won't be any real harm in this. The bullying is just for fun, like how Trash Taste does it to Amirichu. Oh gosh. Oh dear, just... Alrighty, Maddie, just don't go too crazy. Oswald in Kingdom Hearts? Uh-huh. 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 I would love to see that. Sora gonna team up with both animatronic Goofy and Donald? Yeah, the world order. Oh, I can see this happening. And we, I think, almost had it for Cage 3. Come on, Cage 4. Come on, Cage 4, you gotta pull it out. Alrighty, though. Without further ado, though, we should probably get into this. We have a mystery to solve. We have ourselves a mystery to solve. It is time, chat. Are we ready? Let's continue.
I'm thirsty.
Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you for the stretch as well. Stalling is every streamer's fun. Well, yeah, we get to talk about other things as well. And then for me, I know that... Because then I have to see this guy again. Alright. Well, let's get away from this guy. Alrighty, though. It is time to crack the case. First things first, we need to go see Maggie at the detention center. We need to check on her after today's trial. Things have gone absolutely nuts for her. Let's hope we can get through this for her sake. Heck no, not right away. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, Mr. Wright! Hello, Maggie. So, they finished questioning you? Wasn't it just unbelievable in court today, sir? I'm gonna stay up all night and blog about everything that happened. Aren't you scared? It was pretty touch and go in there. Yeah, but you totally nailed that old man. Well, he was all over the place with his testimony. He's not the only one. Huh? What do you mean? Everyone else's testimonies don't match up either. Not with what I remember of the incident, anyway. Is it possible she's the one misremembering things? that seems pretty unlikely. Arya during the last AA stream. Ah, stop! I know. Alright. We have a couple things to give Maggie, though. If you remember, we have something to give Maggie here from Gumshoe. Here we go. Oh yeah, I've got something you're gonna love.
Really? What is it?
A lunchbox just for you. Here.
Wow! A lunchbox! Weenies, too! I can't believe it! Thank you, sir! Did you make this just for me, Mr. Wright? That was Detective Gumshoe. Who else would make such a nice lunchbox for you? Detective Gumshoe? He's really worried about you. Looks like he put a lot of effort into making this, too. I can't accept it. Detention center rules. No gifts allowed, sir.
Hey, come on, Maggie. Don't be like that.
The rules are the rules. They'll lock you up if you break them.
Somehow, when an ex-cop turned waitress says that, it seems a whole lot scarier.
And anyway, I hate weenies. Oh, really? It's all yours, Maya. You can enjoy it with Mr. Wright. But...
She's right. It's better than letting it go to waste.
But... Yes, so...
Gumshoe's lunchbox eaten with Maya. Aww. Poor Gumshoe.
Well, how was it?
That hit the spot. I love Wheaties.
Oh, good. I'm glad I gave it to you then, sir.
Poor Maggie seemed so sad. Maggie seemed so sad not wanting to eat it. Oh gosh. Alright, let's also present this. At least Nick and Maya got a decent meal out of it, but still. Yeah, poor Gumshoe.
I feel much better after the trial this morning. I've been in a bit of a courtroom. I've been a bit of a courtroom proceedings addict for years now. It feels like forever since I saw a witness as slippery as that old man. He's not really that bad of an old man, though. Still, I feel a bit uneasy. Huh? I thought you just said you felt much better.
Maggie. If there's something on your mind, you've got to tell us. Especially if it has anything to do with Mr. Kudo or his testimony.
Roger! I'll spill it all and see what you make of it.
Alright, let's talk.
Maggie, you know how you said that everyone else provided testimony that didn't match up with what you remember? Yep, there are just so many things that don't seem to add up. The biggest contradiction is the other guy I saw at the victim's table. He was the one who slipped something into the victim's coffee. I'm sure it was him.
But didn't Mr. Kudo testify earlier today that it was the waitress who put some white powder into the coffee cup?
So you really think it was this disappearing man that did it?
No.
Oh, goodness. He's the worst old man ever.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I have a theory. Oh.
Well, he's not the only thing that disappeared. The CD vanished as well. You know, the CD with the writing on it? Oh yeah! The MC Screwdriver album, right?
No,
Watch
Maya.
out.
Watch out what? Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Ash. Ray Jared, welcome in. It was MC Bomber, Maya. The name was scrawled on the sports paper as well.
We never did find that CD at the crime scene, sir.
Or the victim's medication. That's gone missing too.
Ouch. My head. This is getting way too complicated for me.
It's getting a little complicated, isn't it? Maybe both testimonies were true. Perhaps. You said that you passed out when the victim, Glenn L., collapsed, right?
Yes. It was so embarrassing. I mean, I used to be a cop. When I came to, the restaurant was buzzing with police. And before I knew what was going on, they arrested me, sir.
So between the time the victim collapsed and the time the police arrived on the scene, you must have had no idea what went on in Tribulations.
No, no idea at all. Why? Is it important, Mr. Wright?
The other witness, the old man from the park, was pretty much chased out of the picture.
I'm thirsty.
Thank you for the hydrate. Chased out of the picture? What do you mean? Old Seedy wasn't inside the restaurant because he was told to go call the police.
Exactly. And you, Maggie, were unconscious. That means Mr. Armstrong was alone in the restaurant for a brief period of time.
No. You don't think Mr. Armstrong set me up, do you?
When you consider the facts, it's hard to imagine that Mr. Armstrong isn't involved in this at all.
Ugh. It's like the master biting the paw of the dog that it feeds. You sure about this, Mr. Wright?
Well, the old man said as much when we spoke with him earlier.
I don't know. Things that man says don't add up for some reason, sir.
Maggie looks like she's trying to figure something out.
Maybe we should ask Maggie exactly what she knows about Old Seedy.
Is there anything about Mr. Kudo's testimony that stood out to you?
Actually, yes. The fact that he was even testifying to begin with doesn't quite... Doesn't quite... what? Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table... It's true there was another customer in the restaurant,
Yeah, we know that already. It was Victor Kudo.
but I can't really say it was an old man. Okay, then how about calling him a really old middle-aged man? No, age isn't the issue. The other customer was a woman.
Oh! Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's a juicy piece of info. A woman?
Are you sure, Maggie? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So, what did this woman look like? She was sort of creepy. And she had a kind of a cackling laugh.
Creepy?
Cackling?
Why do I get the feeling I've come across a woman like that recently? Uh-oh. Sounds like someone we know. The plot thickens indeed. The main server just went up in smoke. Why the heck isn't the press conference set up yet? The superintendent's already here. Yeah, and there's a problem with the internet too. I already told you to stop using your computer, Chief. But I'm watching videos online, catching up on my Asian soap operas. What? It's gonna have to wait, Chief. I'm throwing the switch. Oh, just when some young guy was about to confess to his son's hot-to-trot girlfriend.
What the heck? Wow, this place is really buzzing.
Something must be going down. Something really big. Huh? What are you doing here, pal?
Detective Gumshoe!
Asian soap operas? I don't know. Chaos with the cops. Dude is watching K-dramas on his TV. Yeah! Oh my gosh. You can't be here right now. You'll be roped into the briefing if you stay. Huh? We got big problems here today.
Why? What's going on?
It's a virus! A virus! A virus? There's a virus ripping through the precinct's computer system. I really need to ask you some questions. A virus, huh? Curious. Detective Gumshoe, about this. What? I'm trying to concentrate on Maggie and this virus right now, so Ah! This is it! This stupid name! I remember now!
thought so. Here it comes.
Don't just nod to yourself and keep me in the dark, Nick. What's going on?
It's okay, Maya. You don't have to cry about it. The name's scribbled on that sports paper and written on that CD. That's the name of the virus. MC Bomber.
Whoa! So that's the name of the virus.
What?
Yeah, the virus that just infected every computer in the station, pal. It's MC Bomber. Can you give us any more details, please?
There's another thing I want to ask him about real quick, though.
That's a girl who works over at Tender Lender. You want to stay away from her, okay? I made it.
She does look kind of unforgiving, doesn't she?
That should be the least of your worries, pal. What's that supposed to mean? What could be worse? Her name's Viola Cadaverini. She's the only granddaughter of Bruto Cadaverini.
Bruto Cadaverini? Do you know who that is, Nick?
Never heard of him. Bruto Cadaverini's the boss of the Cadaverini family. The Cadaverinis? That's one scary sounding name. We can't touch them. They're way too powerful for the police. But you're thinking of taking them on? Aren't you? No! I don't remember saying I was going to. Better get some more info out of Gumshoe about this family.
The Cadaverini family, huh?
I'm not sure if I really want to get involved in this, but who are the Cadaverinis? Who are they? A scary bunch of people, that's who. You're a cop and you're scared? What's that about? Trust me, it doesn't matter whether you're a kid or a cop. These guys are scary. They've got some serious clout in the criminal underworld. You can't touch them. They've got too much moolah. Moolah? As in, they pretty much control all the cash on the city's black market.
Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Oh boy.
The black market, huh? And that includes Tender Lender, I take it? Sure, no one stands up to Bruto Cadaverini. And I mean no one. Interesting.
So Viola's the granddaughter of some mafia boss, then.
Yeah, and everyone knows how much Bruto loves his little girl. She means everything to him. So, how did she end up at Tender Lender? I don't know, pal. But I heard she and the boss at Tender Lender are pretty tight.
Tight?
That's what it says in a file I read related to Maggie's case. Sounds like a pretty important clue.
Interesting.
So what exactly is a computer virus, Detective Gumshoe?
I don't know.
What?
Look, I just go with the flow, alright, pal? Here I thought detectives were supposed to be somewhat knowledgeable.
Gumshoe in this case is a little out of it.
What's with that face, pal? You think you know what a virus is?
Well, Nick, do you?
A computer virus? Sure. I mean, only in simple terms, of course.
Really? Wow, you know everything, Professor Nick.
Huh? No, can't mute. You were not banned, as far as I know. Professor Nick. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Dr. Wright from now on.
Gosh.
Hey, that sounds pretty cool. Don't you agree, Dr. Wright?
Why do I get the feeling they're making fun of me? Okay, fine, I'm no expert, but I can at least explain the basics to the two.
It does sound a little weird. That title is for Herschel Layton alone. Professor? Yeah.
A virus is a program that gets inside a computer and causes damage. Damage? You mean it makes the machine go boom and explode? No, the damage is, well, it's all internal.
So the inside goes boom, right?
Imagine all the case data you got stored on your PCs here in this station. A virus could wipe out all that. That's the kind of damage I'm talking about.
Whoa! That's scary.
Yeah. What's even more scary is that viruses are infectious.
Infectious?
Most computers are connected together on a network, right? A virus can move from one machine to another over the network. So the virus just keeps spreading faster and faster. Just like a real virus, huh?
But Nick, why would anyone want to make a program like that?
Yeah, it takes ages to type in all that data. Why would you want to destroy it, pal? No, people don't infect their own machines. They send the virus to someone else's.
What? That's horrible!
Oh, I get it. It's like you're sneezing on Mr. Godot so he catches a cold.
Right! Then he wouldn't be able to turn up in court because he'd be too sick. You really shouldn't do stuff like that, Nick. It's wrong.
Oh, what? Where? When and why did the conversation jump to talking about me? Anyway, that's what a computer virus is. Bad program that causes damage. And all the different viruses have names, right?
Mm-hmm. Literally. Who's the little ninja beside your avatar?
This is Ash!
Ash is a shade squire that is that has the ability to read your messages. Talk about a missed opportunity to call him Dr. Nick. Oh my gosh. Ah, goodness. We've been playing this too. It's so hype. Minx! Welcome in. Good to see you. Hello. Hope you're doing well. It is... But this case is not so hype, but I am enjoying the game itself.
I kind of feel like I've heard the name of the virus we caught somewhere before. Name of the virus, huh? I feel like I've heard of it before, too. We already know about the MC Bomber virus from a while back. A group of criminals issued a series of demands to the head honchos of law enforcement. They threatened to release the virus if their demands weren't met.
Who are they?
I don't know. Some hotshots from the criminal underworld would be my guess. And now the virus has been released, huh? Yeah, it's in every computer and every public office in the city. Everyone's going nuts. They're hopping around like they're dancing at a carnival.
All this stuff with criminals and viruses. It almost feels like we're in a sci-fi movie.
Apparently, the programmer who made the virus was a real genius or something. The focus right now is on tracing the root of this virus on the black market. You mean someone put this virus up for sale? Yeah, because this one's so powerful, they're estimating its price tag was in the millions of dollars, pal. In the millions? A virus can be worth that much?
MC Bomber, found at Tender Lender, contains a computer virus program.
Ah, I can't believe it! I almost forgot the most important thing! And that is, you know, the lunchbox. How did everything go? Lunchbox?
You remember, weenies? I hate weenies!
Oh yeah, those weenies. So, how did my weenies taste when they went down the hatch?
Huh? Well, it was delicious.
Yeah? That's what she said? Really?
Well, not exactly.
Don't worry about it, pal.
Oh gosh, Gumshoe.
I figured something like that would happen, so I came prepared. Prepared? What do you mean? I made a jumbo lunchbox.
Whoa.
Do me a favor again, huh, pal, and deliver this? Sure is a heavy burden, in more ways than one. I can just imagine Maggie's little eyes sparkling with joy when you bring her that.
Weenies again, Nick. Only we don't have to eat all these, too.
Oh gosh. Poor Gumshoe.
I really can't eat anymore.
Alright. Now we got some more information. So let's head to... Oops, nope, not that. Nope, wrong buttons. Buttons are not working. Believe... Ah, here it is. Blue Screens Incorporated. We need to talk to...
Lady
to
Aria, Danny wants you to know that every time you stream during an awful day, it gets brighter and happier. Big hugs to you.
Aww. That's sweet. I'm glad I can make your day better, Danny. got some new jokes and gonna tell them to Ash later. Oh gosh. Blue screens ink. That's suspicious. Just a little bit, you know? Alrighty though. If I remember, she has some psych locks that we need to break. So let's go ahead and break those, shall we? Oh, you're kidding me. Hold on. How about now? Is that better? Is that better, chat? Okay, good, okay.
So, how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. Elk was in?
I'm sorry, sir, but we don't deal with troubleshooting here. Perhaps you'd like to speak to someone in customer service?
What is she talking about? Guess I better just take a shot and see where it takes me. Miss Basil, let me ask you something. Did Mr. Elk's troubles have something to do with this?
What about... Wait, where is it? How about this? Perhaps.
What is that?
A lottery ticket. There were a ton of these on the victim's table at the scene of the crime.
And what is the relevance of that?
The victim, Mr. Glenn Elk, had a gambling habit, didn't he?
I don't think that's based on logical conclusion based on the... That's a logical conclusion based on the facts. Everyone dreams of being rich. Even I listen to Millionaire Radio.
She's right. That is a bit weak on its own. But Mr. Elk's gambling wasn't restricted to the lottery, was it?
How about all these horse racing tickets, huh?
The lottery, horse racing, he bought a lot of tickets and lost a lot of times. That's gotta have hurt his wallet pretty bad, don't you think? Maybe bad enough to be the cause of some pretty serious trouble, perhaps?
No! You are right. Glenn did have a gambling habit. You good people must not follow his example, do you understand?
Trust me, even if I wanted to, I don't exactly have the money to buy any.
Oh gosh, Nick.
But if you win, there's no problem, is there? And Glenn had a winning ticket, didn't he? For $500,000.
Yeah, but...
It's hard to imagine how he could have been in trouble then, isn't it?
It's true that Mr. Elk won $500,000. In the end. That was his first stroke of good luck. He was in deep trouble before that.
Deep trouble? What do you mean?
Mr. Elk's real problem was with someone or something more terrifying and ferocious.
Perhaps a Mr. Furio Tigre? Did I miss something? We just found out that MC Bomber is a computer virus. That Mr. Kudo wasn't in the restaurant when Maggie recalls her testimony. And now we're cracking down on Basil here to see what the victim's troubles were.
Furio Tigre, the boss of a loan office called Tender Lender.
Tender Lender? People with businesses should think harder before naming their offices.
Like you're one to talk. Well, what do you think?
Our firm is doing very well at the moment. I don't think we need to borrow money.
No. I mean about Mr. Elk.
You think Glenn had something to do with this Furio Tigre?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know of any connection between the two of them.
Really? So I've got proof that Mr. Elk and the tiger knew each other.
How about this calendar, where it says on December 3rd, there is a note saying, meet with the tiger. No shout out needed while I was gone? Nope, don't think so.
Furio Tigre, aka the Tiger, is the boss of a loan office called Tender Lender. This is who Mr. Elk met with on the day of his murder. And the only thing a loan shark would talk with him about would be his debt.
No!
It is true that Glenn had racked up quite a bit of debt from his gambling habit. About $100,000, I think.
$100,000? Ouch.
But I heard he won the lottery, so he should have been in the clear.
Shame Maggie couldn't get a bit of that good luck. Okay, so the guy got lucky and won the lottery. But what if he hadn't won? What was his plan then?
Well, this isn't easy to say, but he said he would use his talents to repay the money.
His talents?
I suspect he was talking about programming.
What computer program is worth $100,000?
Perhaps you good people should leave so I can get back to my work.
I'm so close to cracking her.
Perhaps maybe a computer virus worth millions on the black market?
The program in question, was it by any chance this?
How about this?
Well, this is it, isn't it? This is the virus that is infecting computers worldwide as we speak. MC Bomber.
No! There we go. That's it. So the victim was the one who made the virus. So naturally, the company that he was involved with is in some trouble. Glenn's head had more processing power than any computer, but it had been infected with a gambling virus. Glenn was in too deep.
You mean he was in debt?
Yes, $100,000 in debt. Not an easy amount to repay.
So,
he said he was taking on some extra work. Something a bit risky.
Risky? How?
Maybe he was going to become a waitress at Tribulations?
Where do you come up with these ideas?
Risky extra work.
So it's safe to say Mr. Elk was the creator of this virus, huh?
The MC Bomber virus? Yes. It was a work of genius. In a bad sort of way, of course. But still genius. Something like that would probably fetch several $1 million on the black market.
Inconceivable. Gumshoe was right for a change.
This date, December 3rd, that is marked on his calendar. This was his deadline for repaying his debts. MC Bomber, a computer virus made by Glenn Elk, potentially worth millions of dollars.
I guess we won't be needing these horse racing tickets anymore.
Glenn Elk's losing horse racing tickets thrown back on the floor.
Use the trash can, Nick! Oh gosh.
Alrighty. Well, next on the list here, I think we should move to Tender Lender. I feel like there's something that we need to take care of there. Where is... How do we access Tender Lender though? Oh no, Vitamin Square, that's right. It's past Vitamin Square. It's here. No, nope. We are going past you. Goodbye, Mr. Kudo. Please. Alright. And Viola has some secrets as well. So I think we need to crack these secrets, huh? Alright. Time to unlock some more secrets.
You said that bandage around your head was from an operation? You also said you suffered a fatal injury to the head, correct?
Yes. The operation was very difficult, apparently.
Now, by fatal injury, you mean you were hurt very badly somehow, right? Did the injury in question have something to do with this?
Where is it? Ba-da-da-da-ba-ba. Here it is.
I have here a car repair bill. From this, it seems pretty obvious that this car was involved in an accident.
Let me see that. This bill is made out to
The Cadaverinis?
Yes, it is.
I don't think I ever introduced myself. Tell me, what do the Cadaverinis have to do with me?
Something tells me she's not about to say hi and introduce herself. Alright then. The relationship with the Cadaverinis is very strong, and this is why.
Alright, because you are a Cadaverini.
I know exactly who you are, Viola Cadaverini. You sustained that injury in a traffic accident, didn't you?
Up. First lock broken.
It happened about 4 months ago. I was driving in one of our family's cars when someone pulled out in front of me. It was a motorbike or something like that. I don't remember much. Anyway, I swerved to try to avoid it, but...
Ah, no.
No.
I took a blow to the head. A bad one.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what happened to the person on the bike? I'm guessing they didn't get away with injuring the Viola Cadaverini, right?
I don't know what happened to them. They ran away, or so I heard.
Ran away.
If they'd stayed, I'd have...
Is it possible? Could the person who committed the hit and run been...
Perhaps a certain Furio Tigre?
It was this man, wasn't it? He was the cause of your accident.
It wasn't Don Tigre. I refuse to believe it. We collided. The motorboat hit my car. But Don Tigre isn't injured at all, is he?
It was the tiger who caused Viola to crash. I feel it. Plus one of her locks just broke, so she must suspect it was him too. I'm sorry, Miss Cadaverini. I have proof that the tiger was involved in the accident on his bike.
Perhaps let's take a look at the damaged pink motorbike. How about this? Yeah, injuring a mob member doesn't get swept under the rug that easily. Oh no, definitely not.
It's not exactly a motorbike, but Mr. Tigre rides around on a scooter, doesn't he? And you'll notice that the front wheel guard is badly damaged. Miss Cadaverini, you know the truth, don't you? This repair bill was paid by Furio Tigre. The Cadaverinis have known for ages who caused the accident, haven't they?
It's possible. Perhaps. Somewhere inside me, I know that may be true.
I knew it.
But Don Tigre still saved my life. The operation was very complicated. It was very, very expensive.
How much are we talking?
Very, very, very expensive.
Seems kind of hesitant about giving me an actual figure. I should back off. Well, anyway, it was the tiger who paid for it, right?
After I recovered, Don Tigre told me. He said he paid for the operation because he cared about me. I believe him.
Really? Do you honestly believe that to be true? You want to know what I think? I think the reason he paid for the operation wasn't because of you. It's someone else.
Perhaps your grandfather?
Perhaps I shouldn't be saying this, but your grandfather, Bruno Cadaverini, controls a lot of dubious cash, right? And you are his beloved pride and joy. Sure, I don't know exactly how much the operation cost, but if you weren't the granddaughter of Mr. Cadaverini, do you think Mr. Tigre would have paid the money?
$1 million.
Price was probably huge enough to outmatch insurance. Then again, I could be wrong.
4 months ago, I was in a traffic accident. That's why I needed the operation. When I woke up, they told me it was nothing serious. Simple procedure. Oh, really?
Well, I guess if she recovered in 4 months, it couldn't have been too big.
They said the operation cost $1 million. $1 million? Holy moly! $1 million? That's a lot of moolah! My grandfather ordered Don Tigre to pay $1 million in compensation. Compensation, huh?
It's underworld lingo for paying money to settle a score. Basically, pay or get into some serious trouble. And $1 million? This has to be related to our poisoning case somehow.
Yeah, $1 million. $1 million monies. That's a lot of money.
Eee.
I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust what Don Tigre said. He said it had nothing to do with my grandfather being Bruto Cadaverini. I wanted to believe he helped me because he cared about me, not about my grandfather. But I knew that wasn't really true.
Oh. She deserves so much better. She deserves so much better.
Wow. I'm so sorry.
What he did to get the money was... it was... evil. He said it was all for me. So I helped him.
You helped him? In what way?
Here, take these.
What are these? Medical papers?
I'm Bruto Cadaverini's granddaughter.
He had to pay compensation. He was made an offer he simply couldn't use. Viola's medical papers. A $1 million bill for cranial surgery. Payment was due last year.
Wow. I feel so bad for Viola.
It's inexcusable.
Huh?
There are 2 things that I consider inexcusable. Poisoning and betrayal. Only a coward would hurt people using either of these tactics.
Is everything all right, Nick?
We should get going. Right after we finish our espresso.
Yeah.
I won't need to convince Viola of anything else, so I guess I can get rid of this.
Repair bill thrown into the trash. Alright. Let's get going then. Well, that's pretty much it.
Eh, monsieur, I have been waiting for you to return.
Ah! Hi.
Mr. Armstrong.
Ah, good timing. I was hoping to find you here. We'd like to ask you a few questions. Well, he hasn't got anything to say to you fellas.
Ah! It's City up!
What you call Zinny Oop?
Ah!
Come out from under the table already, Maya. Okay, hand it over. What? You was playing games with me? I don't recommend that. The medical papers now. Uh-oh, I think he wants Viola Cadaverini's papers back. You mean this? The $1 million medical papers? Miss Cadaverini trusted you. That's why she said that she helped you. Forget about it. That girl's dumber than an eggplant.
Oh, nuh-uh! Nuh-uh! You're awful.
Yous wanna know what's said? I'll tell yous what's said, and it ain't only a face. She thinks she's got power because she's Bruno's little girl. Now that's sad. Can't let you have these papers. Tomorrow in court, I'm going to expose what you did to get the 1 million you used to pay this off.
What a hag.
Agreed. Are you crazy or something? I don't care if you want to give it to me or not. There's 2 of us here. You got that? 2. We. Mr. Armstrong? Forgive me. Désolé. I cannot argue with him. Ugh. That really hurt. Is that all you's got? I'll be taking those papers now. Armstrong, get that lighter. Wait! Don't take it too hard, Phoenix, right?
I will have order.
I know. Right? That was so stupid. I shouldn't have let my guard down. Those medical papers were vital evidence. Hold it, pal!
Gumshoe!
Detective Gumshoe! Detective? You think you was gonna stop me, copper? Beat it! Ah! Whoa! Come on, Gumshoe, keep it together! You guys, get out of here! Leave this guy to me! But, go, pal, and take this! If you get hurt, who's gonna look after Maggie, huh? Oh. All right. Thanks, Gumshoe.
Wait, Nick, don't leave me behind! Gumshoe to the rescue! Woo!
I'll get even with that guy tomorrow. In court. Tenderlander is going down. Ooh, hoo, 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 to be continued. Ha ha ha!
Let's go!
Holy moly! This just got intense. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Gumshoe the man! Alright. Before we continue on with the trial, I'm gonna take my break real quick. I know it's a little early, but I'm gonna take my break real quick. And then I'll jump right back into the case so we can get started. Don't go anywhere, everybody. I will return shortly. BRB! All right, I'm back. Woo!
Phoenix Wright from Wish? Oh gosh. Susmite and Phoenix Wright from Wish. Oh gosh. Can we get Phoenix Wright? We have Phoenix Wright at home. Phoenix Wright at home. Oh gosh. Alrighty. Without further ado, chat, let us get back into this. We're about to start an epic trial. Then we can finally say sayonara to this case. Let's go.
Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is gonna happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery.
That's true. We still haven't solved a single part of it yet.
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course.
I saw that! That little flash of doubt in your eyes.
No, that wasn't doubt, that was, determination.
Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger! Don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
Hey, pal! Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh. It looked like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing.
Oh yeah, the little green bottle from yesterday.
Come to think of it, it doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This is a small bottle that turned up in the Tribulations kitchen a couple of days ago.
Wow! Look at all these little bottles.
Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. It's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor.
Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others.
Oh, what do you know? It doesn't have a label either.
And it doesn't smell.
We finally got the analysis results back from the lab.
So, what is it? Is it the poison?
I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication.
Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean... Yep, it's the medication Glenn Elk was using for his ruptured eardrum.
But why was that in the kitchen?
What was Glenn Elk's ear medication doing in the kitchen?
That's the question. Small bottom. The victim's ear medicine, found covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen.
What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Somewhat screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour, and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... It's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright.
Well, it is Phoenix Wright. This strange, indeed.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor.
Hey, it's Godot! Coffee counter ready? Get that coffee counter ready.
Very good. And we'll get underway at once. Yesterday
Yes, bang the gavel.
we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows the victim drank with it from his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet this victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear.
It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick?
Ha! Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, Godot.
The world you see keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterdays mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seeds in the air. He was throwing off a scent. Today I'll prove it. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand.
Oh gosh. Here we go.
And you are?
Oh, bonjour everyone. I am Sean Armstrong, the owner and head chef of the Tribulations restaurant Enchanté.
Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman?
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am la perte and perky gentleman, no?
On the day of the incident, you were in Trabian's kitchen. Isn't that right?
With you, monsieur. Everything feels right.
Ha! Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Trabian.
Oui, volontiers. Objection, Your Honor, Godot forgot that Cyclops only has one bar in the visor. Can we get a penalty for the prosecution in contempt of cosplay? Strap, that is amazing. Oh my gosh. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decor that day. I was having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. The cup, the earpiece, and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no? A mirror, huh? A mirror? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. I don't buy it. Something feels off about that.
And suddenly, the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front.
What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Let's talk to him about this. No worries, Dark. Welcome back.
And who were the 2 customers exactly?
Thirsty.
Thank you for the hydrate. Why, of course. The young man who died. And the other not so young man.
You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume.
What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence.
We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we?
Guess we'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today?
You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur?
Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before?
But I did, just a few moments ago.
Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, Are you referring to some sort of decorature? No, Art Deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpets, that kind of thing. Ah, yes, of course. That's deco. I was trying to achieve a more effeminate look for my restaurant.
I think you've achieved that there, Armstrong.
I was planning the most bold remodeling of le decor.
Like having a large mirror between tables somehow?
How big of a mirror are we talking about here?
Well, something about 4 meters wide and, about 2 meters high.
Let's see, if 1 meter is about a yard. Holy glass in a frame, that's huge.
I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually.
The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember.
I know, but I decided not to go through with it in the end.
What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not?
Let's press harder.
If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. There's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimonies.
But
Objection!
You didn't ask, right? You only have yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? A mirror was delivered to Tribulations the day before the incident. Oh, really? As Mr. Armstrong justified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Tribulations, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. If you want to doubt someone, try to look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror.
Sure.
Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object.
Objection!
Normally. But how does normality come into this? That's lame, Trite. Even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-head lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here? Where, Trite? Ah! Not the hair!
I do not have a top knot!
Mr. Godot is right, correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument.
Yeah, logic has won the day.
Everything? You would have seen everything in reverse?
Oui.
Hey Nick, you should take a second and think about what old Stevie said in his testimony.
How did he phrase it again? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. And then he used the same hand to pick up his cup, his left hand.
If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right, huh?
And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, yes. Or does it? It's kind of hard to believe everything's the fault of a mirror, but
Do you think old Sadie saw everything through a reflection?
if he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony.
But that just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's gotta be something in that old man's testimony. We just gotta dig deeper.
Oh, I know. I know what we gotta do. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I went too far. Here we go. Now, everything would have been in reverse, right? Right. Curious and curiouser. Something's missing.
The coffee cup, the earpiece, the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side.
Exactamente. You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so odd, no?
Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Uh-oh! Order! Order! Mr. Wright is correct! If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye.
Objection!
How bitter. Tripe, you should have tasted this bitter. It should have calmed me down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume? The I broke the vase, sorry, apology, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear, do you hear? His left ear. Ah, well, Tripe. Oh, that's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
Wow, I really thought he was old seedy there for a minute, but that was good.
Enough! I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash.
A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears.
Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant. Ari is better at doing impressions. Oh gosh. Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably? La Vira, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There was only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After a terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the hallway. But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victim, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this.
Don't worry about it. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. Ah, I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that?
Volunteer, of course.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please.
Let's see. Let's learn some more.
So run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct?
Oui.
We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would have been in the way.
Objection!
Look who's talking, Trite. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things.
But this is my seat in the courtroom.
Trabian's charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trite.
Jeez, Godot! Calm down! I tell you, monsieur, le mirror was there, in the middle of the restaurant. Are you sure about that?
And where would that be?
Oh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer.
Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once.
Also, please don't flirt with Nick like that. I attract the older ones too, you know. Handsome. Shall I tease you too?
Yikes! I'm already seeing a very hot someone. So I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time.
I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume.
Mocha cream skin, my bad. Well, I will tell you. There was only one seat from which you could have seen. Barf bag, anyone? Oh gosh.
So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat?
My monsieur, it's obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror, like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would have seen everything, no?
So that's the seat old Sadie was sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened.
The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kinda odd? Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police?
Oui, exactamente. I carried it out of the restaurant then.
You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself?
What can I say? I know how to pick things up. Handsome.
Godot actually laughed at something.
Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
I look like the obliging type, no?
I'm crying.
Are you sure about that?
I touched nothing except le mirror.
Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. Ah, suffering from a case of heartburn, right?
Oh, I have just the thing for that. An oil with golden myrrh and frankincense.
Add a few drops to your coffee and voila, enjoy. Focus, Phoenix, breathe. I need to just ignore those two and just find some evidence.
It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, and neither did old Sadie.
And the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Tribien that day. Now I've just gotta prove it, somehow.
Oh wait, no, I didn't mean to press. I meant to present. No, I meant to present. Hold on. Go back. Hold on. I pressed the wrong button. We need to present... Where's the crime scene photo? There it is. If you look... This is interesting. The fact that there was nothing there. And there's a screen blocking the way as well. I don't see a mirror.
This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we've heard, Your Honor. The crime photo. Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist. Huh. Sounds like you're describing yourself, right?
Jeez, Godot, calm down, buddy.
Oh! Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is this something that should not exist in this photo?
How about this?
I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase!
The vase that the vase that the victim, not the victim, the witness, Mr. Kudo, supposedly
Hello
broke.
there.
Hello there. Yes. Music nerd intensifies. Oh yes. Oh yes.
What possible connection does that have with the witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts this piece of evidence.
Victor's testimony.
There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all.
Objection!
Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu!
Objection!
Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary. In his own words, I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear which she couldn't hear? Ha! You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it.
Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick?
There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya.
What do you mean?
Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple.
The victim was a phony!
This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet, there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Order! Order in the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom! Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? That's right. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glen Elk and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, right? Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was... The servant girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the servant girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but... There was one, and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. Show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers at the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that the chef was there. How he would have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct?
Oh la la. This is most difficult for me.
No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Tribulations that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain, in detail, the events in the restaurant that day.
Oui. La victim, Monsieur Erg, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he had won the lottery, Erg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. No, there was no time for a phony to do the acting.
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all.
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. The plot is turning into a fine chowder indeed.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later.
Oui.
For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination.
I'm thirsty.
Thank you for the hydrate. Wow, the judge acting somewhat competent for once? I guess so, hybrid. Alright. Let's continue.
Was he alone at his table as well?
My, oui. I saw him from la kitchen. Thank you for the stretch. Thank you for the stretch. I love this music. So good.
Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table.
Objection!
Ha! Unfortunately for you, Trite, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. Huh? You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking?
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet.
Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden.
Oops. Go back.
My old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct?
Oui. He comes often from my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
I said it was worth one sip and nothing more. So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. So you're saying that not much time elapsed between when the victim and Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oui, that is correct.
But that still leaves the possibility that something happened in that gap of time. And by your recollection, how much time would you say elapsed?
Let me see. Approximately 2 minutes, I would say.
2 minutes? That's all? It seems unlikely that anything untoward could have happened in such a short time. Rats. I knew I shouldn't have pursued this line of questioning.
Hold on. Let's ask part of the other question. What time was it?
Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime scene was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness?
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m., no?
Just after 2, huh?
Ah! Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
Ha ha ha! I can't sit here all the time and do nothing, now can I?
If I may ask, how does Epic Games exactly help you when playing games? Huh? What do you mean?
A time of day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Oui, monsieur Judge. Everything I do it for you.
Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Ha ha ha. I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood.
He's even humming a song to himself.
Let's press the new statement.
Are you absolutely sure about the time?
When I think really hard, I am sure it was just after 2. Oui. It is that time I stopped serving the lunch menu.
Quite right. I always break for lunch when the restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case early, just to make it on time. Ha ha! I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Witness, get on with your testimony, please.
This is You sure it was after 2 p.m.? Not entirely sure about that. Not entirely sure about that. Yeah, I'm using Epic Games to play KH, but I'm using Steam to play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong.
What do you mean?
At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of $500,000 lottery ticket.
Oui, that must be la show mon oncle was listening to.
I can't see any problems with the testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder... You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct?
Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu.
Get to the point, right? If you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise. Well, oh!
Oh! Neo! Welcome in, Raiders! Welcome in! Objection indeed! Welcome in! Good to see you! Welcome in, Raiders! Welcome in! My name is Aria. I am a voiceover artist on YouTube, and I also stream on Twitch, as you can see here. Today we're playing Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations today. Welcome in. Goodness gracious, thank you so much for the raid, Neo. How was your stream? How did it go? Ooh, Overwatch 2? Did you win? Did you win? But welcome in, Raiders. If you need to go to get some rest, get some food, get some water, stand up, do stretches, do what you need to do after stream care, please feel free to do so. We want to make sure they're all comfy cozy. It was so good, thank you. We won! Yay! Great! I'm glad you won! That's awesome. But welcome in, Raiders. So great to see you. Like I said, do your post-stream care. Do what you need to do, especially you, Neo, as it was your stream. Objection! This streamer, Your Honor, welcomed the Raiders before the streamer. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much. I will take your advice because I need to eat some yummy food. Yes. Do so, Neil. Get the foods. All the yummy foods. But I'm gonna lurk. Have a great stream. Thank you so much for the raid, Neo. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And if any of the raiders are planning to stick around, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hope you all will enjoy. Nox as well, thank you so much for that follow, and welcome to the Shade Slayer Guild. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Alrighty. For all of the raiders, welcome in. And I hope you will enjoy the stream if you plan to stick around. Alright, back to the mystery. Welcome back, Dark.
Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it had been announced that he won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time.
No!
This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over. There's only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder.
Ooh-hoo-hoo!
Yes, there were 2 Glen Elks in Tribulations that day. The real Glen Elk, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elk acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if it wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy?
Objection!
Quite a performance, Trent. You were almost on a roll. Huh? But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101?
Me! I am Music Theory 101. I'll take it.
Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elk is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elk was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion.
Objection!
Thank you, Trent. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. What? Now I presume you can prove this theory of yours? Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elk, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Ah! The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body?
Hmm.
Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Tried. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence?
What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden?
I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. L concealed?
Inside Tribulations, of course.
It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Tribulations. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor.
How do we know the chef didn't cook it and serve it? I think there's a pretty obvious reason, because the corpse was then found at the table when the police came to the crime scene. And it was his body. So, where would they hide the body? The kitchen, of course.
The body was hidden here. I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location?
Perhaps the victim's ear medicine that was somehow in the kitchen for no reason?
Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle?
No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me.
Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Tribulations.
Eh? Quoi? But I only ever use seed bottles for my aromatherapy bottles.
But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an otolaryngological clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results
How many
here.
tickles does it tea?
How many tickles does it tea? Huh? Don't think you finished your sentence there. Yep.
The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. Mr. Elk's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen?
Mon Dieu!
Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back.
No!
Order! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenelg?
Never! I could not do such a horrible thing.
No! Mr. Godot! Bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. You have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down to with my empty cup.
Take 2.
Listen up,
How many
chef.
tickles does take to make an octopus laugh?
10 tickles. Ha! I know that one. Ha ha! You didn't get me that time.
Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend? Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. No hablo español. Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? No, no, no. Absolutely no. I... Let's hear it. Got one shot, right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement.
Have you heard of the restaurant on the moon? No?
If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. Oui, it is clear.
Great food, no atmosphere. Anyway, we're moving on.
What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this.
So many references! Goodness gracious!
Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong.
It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me.
You were forced? By whom?
I cannot say, or I will be erased. Erased.
Let's try a different question then. When Mr. L died, was he really the only person at his table?
There was. There was another man.
I knew it.
Maggie was telling the truth.
You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer.
I wonder who this man was. I wonder who this man who forced you to do it was. I wonder. You know, I really need to return my vacuum cleaner. It's just been gathering dust. Oh gosh! Why? Too many puns!
Stop it!
Let's end this dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to.
Ah!
Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, I don't know. Maybe a month ago in this very courtroom? This man is Furio Tigre. He's the manager of a loan office called Tender Lender. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre. At least not while he had this on you.
Your loan contract.
A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you.
Oui, it is as you say.
Mr. Armstrong.
That tiger. He told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to. I had no other choice. I carried that body and the inconscient Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well?
No, I know nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable. What does James Bond do before bed? He goes undercover. So many puns. Stop. Stop with the puns. Thank you for the hydrate, though. Godot's mug, Judge's hammer, and Phoenix's pointer finger, I guess, aimed at the chef. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. "30 minutes. Oh, what? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the? Don't sit back and relax yet, Trite. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess.
To be continued. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! We going into overtime today to solve this mystery once and for all. Ooh boy, oh boy. I hope you all are ready. Oh goodness. It is time. It is time. Let's do this.
So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick.
I wish I could agree.
Huh?
When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. The doe picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth.
You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong is lying?
I don't know. But if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe!
What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end.
Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Topknot.
It's not a top knot!
Never mind about the hair, just calm down already. I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. Ah! No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal, anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I can get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then.
And Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right?
True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet! In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me?
How about on this little bottle?
If you're gonna go back to the station anyway, did you find out whose prints are on this? Oh hey, that's a small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solve the last mystery of who these prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, it's been gnawing at me too.
Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe.
Okay, I'll
I
get this
once
off to the
submitted 10 puns to a joke competition. I thought with that many, one was sure to be a winner. Sadly, no pun intended.
Moving on. Goodness gracious, all the puns today.
Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. pretty much the final showdown, I guess.
It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
Alright, game face, chat. Game face.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Cadeau, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed it for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Careful, he still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand.
I have a question for you. What's up, Nox?
Witness. Ah! Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there's room for me down there, too. What'd you say to me? You did nothing! I didn't say nothing! Honest! Who would have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the Dutch? I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal.
What? Excuse me.
In February, no, but April, May.
Gosh. Gosh.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Miss Justice joins the guild.
Liz Justice, thank you so much for that follow, and welcome to the Shadeslayer Guild. Thank you so much. Alright. Alright, bye, Saint Thea. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay sharp.
That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you just didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What do you say? What you say?
I come into chat and hear puns. I can't. Also, hello. But welcome in, Liz Just. Oh my gosh, Gadosthi.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, if I'm going into overtime for you guys so we can finish this case today. Don't kill me with puns, please.
There's no point in struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Too cool.
Don't let him get the better of you, Nick.
Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinging incident, Mask Boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then? Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. Huh? You's the one who set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today.
Get a grip, Nick.
Maya says as hiding under the desk.
I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in the office. Got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. You just want to check my alibi, just ask Violetta. Ah, at last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Ah! Oh, what is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me, it's just something that don't relate to this case. I'ma bill you $50,000, and you's gotta borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tango with the tiger. Ha! I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute. That's really not. This witness is, how can I put it, a hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You's better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
You can do it, Nick!
Come out from under there already, would you, Maya?
Alright. Let's continue then. Tied up in business, huh? Doing what exactly?
Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather, sketchy schedule. Here he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what?
We're gonna press harder.
Mr. Tigre, what do yous want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail.
Objection.
This is a dead end, right? And you know it. Remember the rules.
Jeez, cut him off, will ya?
No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi correctly. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe you ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe that witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you please. Mr. Tigre, the court asks you add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself.
Oh gosh! Try to find your pen and maybe bravery, Maya. Oh gosh. Then how about we present Glen Elk's calendar here, huh?
Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glen Elk, but it appears that Mr. Elk knew you. What? Mr. Elk left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder! So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glen Elk. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Not bad. He was actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with you to see how good you were.
Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad.
That's one compliment I can do without. Plus he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You're calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing? Ruh-roh!
Ruh-roh? Ruh-roh! Really, Your Honor? Really?
So you're saying that you claim to have never seen the kid before? Is that the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You'd better believe that's the truth. Ah. Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. T. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court witness? You never actually met the victim? It's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. Oh boy!
Here we go. Clip. Someone clip it. Well, that just depends.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glen Elk. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. Set up a meeting with the guy at my office, 10 to lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never been to that Trey BN joint. You was here?
You sure about that?
I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you that I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. Gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right?
Someone will have to go back in the VOD and look for it, the Scooby-Doo reference. You never been to Trey Bien, huh? You sure? Well, I've got proof that says otherwise. How about this box of matches, huh?
Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What you was talking about? We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. Wait! If you've really never been to Trey Bien before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? You've been snooping around my stuff now too, wise guy! What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me! Order! Order! Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Ah! Sorry! I'm terribly sorry! Forgive me! I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? Well, listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elk that day, and he put poison in his coffee. He must have.
Oh boy.
I was supposed to meet the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. That guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. Figured if the place wasn't out already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop sirens on my way out and went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Huh. No problem. Anytime Tri presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Gateau, that's my job! Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir! The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so yous know it was since you was paying. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here?
Trey, welcome in. Good to see you. Hold on. He opened the door and saw an ugly scene, huh? How would he have seen it? How would he have seen it, though? That's a good question. The man is clearly seeing red, as much as he is red himself. I think that's the point. All right. You're something of a loan-collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie-detecting pro.
and no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Drite? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head.
I don't think so.
Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a tall partition. Aye, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. So from the entrance of Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him.
Objection.
Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table.
You forget, Godot.
But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kudo, was not Glen Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out of charade.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glen Elg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright revealed the identity of this criminal to the court.
Who else could it be? Who else could it be? Mr. Tiger.
Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. But what? What? Well, witness?
Ah, ha, ha. Now that's cute.
You thinking you can pin this on the tiger?
Maybe you still don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts.
You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright!
Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. Who's got guts, I'll give you that.
Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone.
Perhaps I can end this embarrassment.
Mr. Godot!
Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no.
The serving girl brought him a Javachino.
But he put something in it.
He put something in it. There's no question about it. He was conspicuously putting some white powder in there.
Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee.
Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee.
Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ah. Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket.
Ahem. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glen Elg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright?
I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glen Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show.
What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well?
The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident.
Mm-hmm.
And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her.
Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed?
That would be the only other customer at the time. Viola Cadaverini.
Who is this woman?
Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender.
He was making a big mistake. Did you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean.
Stop shaking, Nick.
Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, had stated the following.
Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. And she had a kind of cackling laugh.
There were just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There was only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real, and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness? What have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give yous one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You's got it all wrapped up nice, alright? But you missed out one real important thing. But that can't be! I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you hear? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? Ah, what a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim?
Okay. Here we go. The last one. This is the last testimony, you guys.
Yeah, I loaned out cash. About $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. Get it his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over.
Ah, really?
Now I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elk was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was an unlucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. Motive? He has one. He has to have one, but what is it?
Alright. Panhead! Yes. We are about to nail this guy. Let's see. That waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. Really? Let's see.
The waitress? You mean...
the girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, and over with.
Maybe I should push a little on this.
Ask how things would have been.
What do you mean things would have been over and done with?
Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back, that's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way.
As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping, recouping his loan. Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. A tiger's motive, huh?
Ah, I didn't have another reason to kill the guy. Really? Really? What about a Excuse me. Grima clipped it. Hey, how about a virus that was worth potentially millions on the black market? Huh? You wouldn't kill for that?
So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. L owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. L, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you're really after.
Objection!
What are you getting at, Trite? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the most important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elk had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Elk was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money.
Objection!
You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program. Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, right? A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why would Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million?
How about those medical papers? Those medical papers that costed $1 million.
In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. And how much of this do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. For $1 million? A preposterous sum! Someone should sue these HMOs. Ah, no one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Rawr! Order! 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 You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruno Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruno Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no other way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win? Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate methods. That's crazy! He murdered Glen Elg and then made his next move. To frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, right, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. Well, Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan.
Ah! My phone. That was my phone. Sorry.
Order! You's put on a good show, Spiky. Huh. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up as that kid, created the witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright. Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was his trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused?
How about a paper badge?
What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me.
Have you played this before? Yes, I've played all the Ace Attorney games before, minus the prequels.
What? That's
the truth.
What? A witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him?
Yeah. Forget about it, yeah? What about the spin-offs, Ace Attorneys? Yeah, I played those too. So you're going to play the prequels blind? Yes, I am. I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh?
Have you no pride, sir?
This isn't a matter of pride.
In case you didn't know, right, here in court we deal with people's lives. Yeah. Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor? Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No!
Thank you for the 10-stream streak, Aiden. Things are going well. We're almost done. This case is almost over.
If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive.
But we've come so far!
You say he impersonated Glen Elk. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ah! Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get mauled. You've got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ah. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I had just one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre. Hold it! Your Honor, sir! Wait!
Gumshoe! Let's go! Bio is here!
Detective! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counted on this, too.
The legend, Detective Gumshoe!
But what is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What?
Woohoo! Let's go, Gumshoe!
He's got the evidence we need. Let's do this.
Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle.
Oh, so? Do you know who the prints belong to now?
You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know.
So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it.
You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. The Furio Tigre's paw prints, all right?
That's great! Got him now, Nick! What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick.
I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we needed to produce at this stage in the trial was irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elk's coffee. It's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle really doesn't make any difference now. Yeah, I knew it. Right, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use.
No, Gumshoe! No! Hey, don't be so hard on yourself.
This is our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. Not breaking news to me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe? Maggie! Been working on something for me?
Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now.
Detective Gumshoe, wait!
He's gone.
Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick?
I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it.
Small bottle. The victim's ear medicine, covered in Furio Tigre's fingerprints. All right. Here we go.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Wright. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been in no court before. But you lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. Rarely backed into a corner here. Maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright.
It's time for a trick. It's time to pull out all the stops here.
Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court.
All right. Here goes, chat.
This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's? Your Honor. Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows that what this bottle contains. Except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway?
Time for a mind trick.
A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains
the potassium cyanide.
We all know it contains the ear medicine, but we're doing this for a trick.
This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elk, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you know that? What? Yous ain't never gonna get to this stick. Yous just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see right through you, Phoenix, right? That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with a tiger or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. Oh! You just exposed yourself. You just exposed yourself. Got him. At last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But yous ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. Still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known that what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. Yeah. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You just don't know who you're messing with. I'm the Tiger. I can throw millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. A phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Oh! What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Well done. That's right. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey.
It's over!
Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Teabreaker, Mr. Godot? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, he managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Furio Tigre is truly a frightening criminal. Ah, truly frightening one is that defense attorney. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, I'm now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird.
Not guilty! Let's go! Oh, thank goodness.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Amazing. Mission complete.
Ah, we did it. This disaster of a case is finally over.
Mr. Wright! I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him.
Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger.
Look, Nick! In the doorway!
Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait!
Detective Gumshoe.
Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Huh? Oh. Well, I was... Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. Just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles.
Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him.
Can't you put it in a good word for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya's right. Should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know, Detective Gumshoe's really been worried about you through all of this.
Wanted to believe that, sir. And on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts.
He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it.
I've gotta prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom.
It's time for that one thing.
Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom.
That's...
A present from Detective Gumshoe. Made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight, and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know.
Yeah. Trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it?
Is it okay if I eat this now? So, how is it, Maggie? Oh, that image! Ah, so cute! It's really good.
So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start.
The end. Ooh, we did it. Oh! Yes!
Oh! With this disaster of a case finally done.
Oh! Oh!
Yes! This case! I am so looking forward to this case! Let's go! Okay, I'm excited. Alrighty. With this disaster of a case finally done, it is time. It will be time next week to try and continue through the next case. Turnabout beginnings. Alrighty. You hate this one? Why? I love this case. In terms of content, like the actual... Oh gosh. I can't say anything. You guys are gonna have to see. This case is insane. But we will continue that next time. Oh goodness. Alrighty. Holy moly. Ah! The disaster case is finally done! Let's go! We'll just have to see and wait till next time, huh, chat? A very bad and disturbing case, but with a satisfying ending. Arya's dying to see Edgeworth. Maybe a little bit. But if you also noticed his outfit was different at this point, what could that mean? I wonder. We're also gonna meet a interesting character in this quest, as well as a character we've already seen before. So, keep your eyes out for that. Alright. With this case finally over, it's time to end stream. Thank you so much for coming in, everybody, and watching through this case with me. Let's go ahead and find somebody to raid today before we head off. Let's see. Who is live today? Really? The glitchy audio right at the end, huh? Glitchy audio right at the end, huh? Alrighty, though. Let's see. Who shall we raid today? Mia is live.
Mia is playing Wuthering Waves. Ooh. Yeah, let's go raid our friend Mia Hanashiro today. Mia is playing the new gacha game, Wuthering Waves, that was just released this past week. Alrighty. If you're headed over to the raid with us to raid Mia Hanashiro, please type Shadeslay Raid in the chat below so that she knows that we are there to support her. Also, if you're headed over, be sure to follow all of her rules as you would mine. And once again, as always, have fun. Alrighty. Tomorrow there is no stream because Wednesdays I do not stream. But Thursday we will be back into Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Ooh, I am so excited to start this next chapter of Miracle Mask. Alrighty though. Thank you so much everyone for coming. And I cannot wait to start Turnabout Beginnings next week. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! This is gonna be epic. Thank you so much for coming, and I will see you all on Thursday. Bye! Stay sharp, Shadeslayers!